compare certain sides to each other. All right, you remember, Eli, what the sides are? What's the sine one?
Sine is opposite over hypotenuse.
Awesome. Cos?
Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse.
And tangent?
Is adjacent over opposite over adjacent.
Well done, Eli. Fantastic work. Okay, so all of those ratios are based on the angle I'm looking at. Which angle am I looking at? And that decides which side is opposite, which side is adjacent, and which side is the hypotenuse. So first of all, the hypotenuse never changes. Where do we find it? Longest side opposite the right angle. All the time. That never changes. The side opposite and the side adjacent changes based on which angle I'm looking at. Okay? So if, for instance, I'm looking at angle A here, the side opposite is little a over on that side. I always label my triangle with the big letter as my angle and the little letter across from it as my side. So that makes this guy right here B and this guy right here C. Okay? So the first thing that we want to do is write this down somewhere on a piece of paper that's not attached to my book so that I have it beside me. As Eli put so well, sine, opposite over hypotenuse, cos, adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent, opposite over adjacent. Okay? Now in the old days, I'd make you remember it. So I tell you how to do it. I'd say, well, suck a toe. Sakatoa. Don't have to write that down. Sine, opposite over hypotenuse, cos, adjacent over hypotenuse, tan, opposite over adjacent. That's how you can remember it. There's another one. Two cats sat on an orange and held hands. Math people, they're geniuses. Tan, opposite over adjacent. Cos, adjacent over hypotenuse. Sine, opposite over hypotenuse. Two cats sat on an orange and held hands. Because why wouldn't cats sat on an orange? All right. Sit on an orange. Okay. Any questions so far? Is this review for you? Yeah? All right. Good stuff. Okay, so can I move this page? Here, never mind. I'll keep that page. Let's have a look and let's see what we're doing with this. Okay. So the first thing we'll do right now, I have this side is 6, this side is 8. A, C, B, and I want to know C. Okay, so I'm going to try and find. Now, one of the things that we get into in grade 11 and grade 12 is we get into law of sines, or no, it's mostly grade 11. Law of sines and law of cosines. And each time I draw a triangle, I want to know what all three angles are and all three sides are. That's our intended goal anytime I'm drawing triangles and working with questions with triangles. So for instance, I have been given side here 6 and 8. How would you suggest I find C now? Yes. Not yet. That's to find the angle. So yes, I'm going to head there next. Go ahead. Pythagorean theorem. I agree with you. Okay? The two shorter sides, 6 squared plus 8 squared is equal to C squared. Right? 6 squared is 6. 8 squared is equals C squared. 36 and 64 make 100. What does C equal? How do I get 10? Square root it. C equals 10. Okay? All right. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to write out the ratios now. So I'm spending all kinds of time with my grade 11 pre-calculus right now. And we are writing out ratios of triangles. All right? Now, they know that they can solve for the angles, but I've backtracked. I'm like, I don't want the angle, I want the ratio. And then I'll solve for the angle. So what I want you to do right now is you now have the information. That information. I want you to write down the ratio. And remember, you write a ratio as a fraction of the sine of A, the cos of A, and the tan of A right now. So I want the ratio. So what is the ratio? I am comparing the side lengths of two of the sides. That's how I determine how big my angle is. I look at two specific side lengths, and I determine from those lengths how big the angle is. All right? Now the hypotenuse is always the longest side because it's across from the largest angle. 90 is the largest possible angle you can have in this triangle. The other two angles have to be less than 90. Why? Well, they all add up to 180, right? So if one of them's 90, what does that make the other two when I add them together? 90. That's right. Okay. So write out your ratio then. What is the sine of A, the cos of A, and tan of A? I'm not looking for you to solve anything. I just want the ratio of the length of sides for sine A, cos A, tan A. Okay. Somebody, put up your hand if you think you know it. What is this code? What is the sine ratio for A? Brandon, go ahead. 8 over 10. 8 over 10. Side opposite over hypotenuse. The side opposite, I will often refer to it as the side across. Okay? Because it's a better visual. The side opposite to angle A is 8. The hypotenuse, it doesn't change, it's 10. Okay, somebody else in here. Give me what the cos of A is then. Put up your hand if you have it. Go ahead, Cara. 6 over 10. Well done. Okay, so far? Emma, do you have the 10?
Yeah.
What do you got?
8 over 6.
8 over 6. Right arm. Well done. Well done. Okay. Anybody not get those three? Be honest. I just want to find out where we made the mistakes. Anybody not? Every one of you got that all right? Superb. All right. Let's challenge you now. I want sine B, cos B, tan B. Mark, set, go. I want the ratios for sine B, cos B, tan B. All right, hands up. Sign B. Somebody leave Brandon. I'm gonna give it to me. 6 over 10. Yes or no? I concur. Okay. Brooklyn, coast B.
I don't know.
What?
8 over 10.
Okay, Brooklyn, I have this angle, and that's what I'm focused on, right? And I have a
Oh, I
side
get it.
opposite and a side adjacent, and I have hypotenuse.
I thought the one side, like only one side can be opposite, but they both can be opposite or adjacent.
That's exactly
I
right.
didn't know.
Okay, that's a good point. That is opposite,
So that,
right? So therefore, this is adjacent. So therefore one too many times. I get 8 out of 10. Done. Okay? All right, who's got the last one? Who's got tan for me? Jax?
6 over 8.
6 over 8.
So,
Well done. Go ahead, Wyatt.
in a, like, for an exam, let's say wouldn't it have to give you which one is which on a, like say which one is which, otherwise you could get different answers.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm about to show you here. Okay, what happens. Okay? So, Wyatt's question is, won't I get different answers? So here's what we're gonna do. Okay? How many of you have scientific calculators here? Put up your hand. Okay, we need trig. We have to have them. So we need trig. So if you need one, I'll get you one for today. Then we'll get through that. All right. I'm going to progress this along right now. I'm going to progress this along.
Is the scientific one?
Does it have sine, cos, and tan on it?
Yeah.
If you have sine, cos, and tan, that's all I need. That's the scientifics I need. Yeah, go ahead.
if we're looking for an answer
I'm
to the question,
able to get to your question. All right. So, looking at the ratio now, I'm looking at sine A is equal to 8 over 10. And I want to find out what angle A actually is. And that's what we use trig functions for. To help us take the ratio of two sides, in this case the opposite and hypotenuse, and find out what the actual angle is based on those sides. So to do that though, you have to do something different than what's normal. And that is, I need to go second function sine or shift sine, and I need to go 8 divided by 10, and you probably need the brackets, and then hit equals. Okay, so I want everybody to put this into their calculator right now so that I know you know how to use calculator. Anybody need a calculator? Put up your hand if you need a calculator. Everybody's okay? All right.
So it'd be the negative one, the sign of the negative
Yes.
one, instead of the one
That's right. Anytime you're finding an angle, you have to use the sine of the negative 1, the cos of the negative 1, and tan negative 1. Only for the angle.
Don't you use the negative one when you find the side?
No, never, ever, ever. Boo, don't do that.
The regular
Pardon me?
the regular one.
Yeah.
The regular one, yes.
So that's what we did last year.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so. Okay, so this is what we have. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. Okay. Now. All right. Everybody got that? Nobody did any errors, just so I can check your calculator work. Everybody's good?
No, I didn't get that.
I
Okay.
You have to use the brackets.
Yeah, I use those.
You have to make sure it's not negative.
Did you use the negative one?
One. Okay.
Zero on add.
Yeah, that's a biggie. Good pickup. Nice pickup. So that's the DRG button. So we're going to make sure that's in degrees. Same with you. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else hand up if you didn't get that answer? Oh, you know what you're doing. I think you know what you're doing. Okay. But here's the problem. You're in rads. So I have to change that using your... Yep. And now you can try it. I'll try it again for you.
Here's what it is. And then
Okay.
Now, this calculator, it don't work for you, but you got these things sound backwards. I go each divided by 10, it equals, and then I go second sign and look at it for you.
Okay. So that might confuse you a little bit as I'm going through this, but just that's what you do. You do this part first, and then yes,
So
Brooke.
for cos and tans, the same type of layout?
Okay. So here's the next thing.
yeah, they're the same.
Let's find the cos A if the ratio is 6/10. So I go A equals cos -1, 6 divided by 10, and I should get 53.13 degrees. Right? Okay? And then do it one more time, just to prove how smart you are.
I have a question. How come, like, so if you were to do that, would you just pick one of those ones to use?
Okay.
How come you need to do all three?
So here's what it's going to come down to. All right? Actually, just let me finish this off.
Okay.
And put your hand up. I'm going to answer that question right away here. Okay? Because we're really feeling it. We're hot now. All right? We all got this 3 times in a row? Yeah? Awesome. Okay. Find out what sine B is now. B equals sine -1 of 6/10 equals
36.869.
Actually, what's the one after the 9? 8. Yeah, so it's 70. Okay? 70 degrees. All right. Do we all get that?
Yep.
Yeah? Take angle B and add it to one of those angle A's. What do you get? Take the angle B measurement and add it to one of those A's.
89.
What do I get?
So 90 degrees.
So
Isn't
90
it the
degrees.
three angles of a triangle are supposed to equal 180?
So did I work that out right?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I'm so smart. Right? Okay? That's 90 degrees, right? So this guy and this guy had to give you 90. So therefore, I know I got it right because I got this to add to 90. You can check your answer every single time and know that you got it right when it comes to trigonometry. Okay? We all right so far?
So if it gives you just the 90-degree angle, you got to do both of them to figure out the other two.
You have to be given at least an angle on a side or 2 sides to do it. Okay? So, all right. Now, I am going to answer Brooklyn's question by starting this whole thing over again. Bless you. Here's the original question I gave you. Bless you.
8, 10, and 6.
This was the original question. Okay? So, I want to know side C. I want to know angle A. And I want to know angle B. So this is the start. Okay? Just leave everything down. Just watch what I'm doing here. So Brooklyn's question is, how do I know what to use or what can I use? Well, the answer is this. I can use anything I'm given. But to make sure that I don't make an error and then compound that error by doing another error, I'm going to use just the information that's given to me so far. So I'm going to show you how I would approach this question and how I would get A and B with just 6 and 8 and nothing else. Okay? So here's how this works. First of all, if I get 2 sides given to me, I'm always going to find the hypotenuse or whatever side it is using Pythagoras' theorem. So you guys, we just solved it, so I don't need to show you how to do that again, but we got 10, right? We got 10. Okay. Now, I want to find angle A. So this is the biggest part of trigonometry. This is where my explanation and your ability to put it on paper, this is where it comes apart for a few of you. Most of you are going to just say on this because it really isn't very difficult. But there's going to be a few of you that have a disconnect as to what I'm about to show you, what I want you to do every time, and what you're willing to put down on paper because it's not the same as what I would like. So I'm going to show you how I would set this question up so that it's going to make your life easier. The first thing I do is I am going to solve for A. So I identify the two sides that I'm going to work with. So the two sides that are given to me are 8 and 6. So I say to myself, where is 8 in relation to A? Opposite. Excellent work. Where is 6 in relation to A? Adjacent. So now I look at my piece of paper and I say, okay, which one of my trig functions is opposite over adjacent? 10. So what I want you to do, so watch this closely because I want this on every single question. This is to make your life easier. Okay? I say, all right, I know from my ratios that I'm going to use tan A. Tan A. So I want to write this out. I want to write a trig function and the angle that I am trying to solve for, or if I have been giving, or the one I'm working with. So I write out tan A. Now what's the side across from it? What's the opposite? 8. And then the adjacent side? 6. So now I'm going to solve it by going tan negative 1, 8 divided by 6. Okay? So I am going to use just the information that's given to me. I'm not going to use the 10. I can, but what if I got 10 wrong? What if I got 9 out of that because I made a math error? Then what's going to happen to these guys?
Wrong.
They're going to be wrong as well, which I'll be able to see because when I add my angles up, they won't equal 180. But I'm going to try and do everything right at the start of the question so I make my life easier, right? Okay? So then this gave me A is equal to 53.130 degrees. Okay? So far, so good? Now I want to find B. Again, the natural thing for you to do would be to say, well, if that's 53.13 and that's 90, then I know that this and this have to add to give me 90, so I would subtract them. That's the natural thing for you to do. Okay? But what if I got 53.13 wrong? Then I'm going to get the B one wrong, right? So let's go back to the information that's given to me and let's solve it again. So now I'm going to go, let me do this all over again so that you know. All right, I'm working with B now. Where is 6 in relation to B?
Opposite.
Opposite. Where is 8 in relation to B? Adjacent. So which trig function am I working with? Tan. So I'm going to go tan B equals the side opposite, which is 6, over the adjacent side, which is 8. B equals tan negative 1, 6 divided by 8, 36.870 degrees. Now I want to check. That plus that gives me 90. I got it right. Okay? So I only want to use the given information each time. It's not much more work. But if I do it, I can guarantee perfection. Meaning I should be able to get 100% every time I do this. Because I know when it's right and when it's wrong. Go ahead.
So what you're meaning is you could, in a different question, you could be given the hypotenuse and not the...
Yeah, I'll come back to it. All right, I'll show you a new question right away. So I'm going to work with everybody. Okay? So in this case, I was given the opposite and the adjacent, depending on which angle, whether it was A or B I was looking at, those numbers switched, right? This one was 8 over 6, this one was 6 over 8. Okay? So far, so good? Any questions? Any other questions? All right, so let's have a look at one more example, and then I'm going to let you work. All right. Okay. So this is the question that was given to you. I am missing E. I'm missing F and angle F. So I need to find E. I need to find F. And I need to find angle F. All right? Okay. How are we doing? So, I'm given one angle only. What's the easiest thing you could find right now?
Lane Wandler to the office, please. Lane Wandler.
Myra?
The other angle.
What's the other angle equal?
60.
60? Yeah, that was easy. I'm probably going to get that right. Uh-oh, called away here. Hey. Okay. All right, I'll find them. Yeah, bye. Okay. All right, so that's the easiest. That's a great start. There's nothing else to it. If you know two angles in a triangle, subtract them from 180 and you get the third. Done. Okay? So now, let's find E. But again, I only want to use the information that's given. Well, what angle am I given? I'm given D here. So now let's talk about the stuff that I'm given. Where is 6 in relation to D? Opposite. And I want to find E. Where is E in relation to D? What'd you say? Adjacent. I love it. Because I was hoping somebody would say that. Is that the adjacent side?
No.
Yeah, but it's next to it.
Hypotenuse is always the longest one.
Right. So there's the great first learning experience. Even though it's beside it, you have to identify the hypotenuse early on. And it's always the longest side, right? So we said this is opposite and this is the hypotenuse then, right? Which trig function am I working with? Sine. So I go sine 30 degrees. Notice this again. I've identified my trig. I've identified my angle. Now I'm going to identify the two sides. 6 over E. Okay? Now this is the one aspect of trig that causes people grief. But I'm going to show you such a simple way to solve this. All right? Right now I got to get to E. I got to get E by itself. So you know what you can do? Switch these two guys. Switch them. So that gives me E equals 6 over sine 30 degrees. Now use your calculator. And solve for it. Sorry, let me write that out. 6 divided by sine 30 degrees. Haley, you'll have to go 6 divided by 30 sine. And then hit equals, okay? Do we all get 12?
Yeah.
Anybody not get 12? Put up your hand. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody's okay? All right. So I know this is 12, right? Okay, let's find F now. Again, I'm going to use 30 degrees. Where is 6 in relation to 30? opposite. Where's F in relation to 30? Adjacent. Which tan function? No. Thanks. How about we use tan? There's a novel idea. It's been a long day already. Tan 30. So I put the trig function down. Tan 30 degrees equals the side opposite over F. Right? And how do I get F by itself? What do I do here? Switch these two. F equals 6 divided by tan 30. And what do you get?
10.39230.
10.392. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Am I not get that value? It's going to be imperative that you work through your calculator right now with me so that I know that you are getting that part of it. Okay, Jax, you have a question?
I keep getting 11.3.
Are you clicking the 10 maybe? It's the other one.
I'm trying to find a side, so it's just
line.
half.
Right.
It's an angle.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, so Jax, take 6 divided by tan 30.
And make sure you close the bracket. Make sure you-
What's that?
Try tan 30.
Oh yeah, you gotta go with 6 divided by 30. Tan. No, you're shifting again.
To get this
It's a
negative
shift.
one.
It gives you
I'm gonna
Oh,
go with
6
the
divided
negative
by
number.
30.
Oh, so
Tan.
you said that the y equals 30 plus like 30.
Okay. So your calculator, you gotta do the angles
No,
first.
don't have
Okay.
angles. Don't
Sorry, I gotta go deal with the issues here, so I wanna just finish this up. Okay?
I didn't.
How do I check and see that I got this 100% right? What should I do now? Okay, add up the angles. 60, 30, 90, make 180? Yeah. What else?
A squared, B squared, C squared.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Take 6 squared, add it to 10.392 squared, and see if that gives you 144. Because 12 squared is 144.
143.9.
Perfect, you're close. Not quite perfect. You're almost perfect. Okay? Are we good?
143.99. 3646.
I check my answer by going 6 squared plus f squared, which is that, and that has to equal this squared. 6 squared plus 10.392 squared has to equal 12 squared. Okay? All right, so what I've done today is I've given you an overhaul of all of chapter 3. The first part, 3.1, only deals with the tan ratio. So today, you can go to work on the tan ratio. Okay? So that's page 40. All right, I need you to do your best. I have to leave the room for a bit to deal with the situation, and then when I get back, I can answer any questions that you have.
I do, yeah. Do you want one? 'Cause I don't, I got the series.
Flip it forward.
Because yeah, you have to hit the equals.